Today we're installing the Fastway Kickstand on a 2019 YZ250F. So stick around. Welcome to Rough Riders, I'm Jay Taylor. For those of you that have been following my channel, you guys probably already know that I sold my side-by-side, my YZ250F, about 6 months ago because it wouldn't fit in my trailer, and I started the search for a bike. I was looking for something that was more trail friendly, couldn't find anything in my area. Then a deal popped up on this 2019 YZ250F, and so I jumped on it. And so I want to make this thing a little bit more trail friendly. And so to that end, I went ahead and picked up the Fastway Kickstand, and we're going to do an installation on this. Okay, tools that you're going to want to have handy for this job. A hammer, unless your wife walks off with it and doesn't put it back, then I just end up using a 1/2 inch socket, just use the end of it to tap stuff in. Then a center punch, a couple of pair of pliers, needle nose and regular pliers to get the cotter pin out. A 3/8 inch drive with both a hex key socket for a 5/16 and a T50 Torx bit star bit socket. And then a lever to be able to get some leverage on it. You can also try an impact gun. I was almost using my air impact gun, but I figured I would just do the socket with a lever first. Some Loctite. I used blue thread locker on it. That looked like what they actually used to hold the bits or hold the bolts in as well. And then obviously a little socket adapter if you're using your impact gun. So that's what you need for this particular job. Let's get on to installing the kickstand. So in the package you get the kickstand itself, which seems like it's really nice quality. It comes with 2 bolts. These are hex head bolts, 5/16. You've got a catalog with additional Fastway products you can buy, and then a sticker. Now the first step we're going to do is we're going to remove the foot peg, and that's got a cotter pin right there, so we need to straighten that out and get that out of the way. Just like that. And so now we need to get this just like that. And now I can get to these 2 bolts. Now I've heard from other people that these things are on there really tight, so we're going to throw just a little bit of heat on them just to pop them loose, get everything to expand. And then I happen to have a little impact driver here. I've also got an air impact gun, but I don't think I'm going to need it. Okay, that didn't seem to want to break loose, so we're going to try something a little different. Little leverage. Just like that. Let's see if the other one will break loose that way. Like that. Okay, so with the old stuff out, I'm going to install the new one, and I'm going to use a little bit of blue thread locker on here. I just got some Loctite, just because I want to make sure that this thing doesn't vibrate loose. And it looks like they actually use some blue thread locker on here as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on there. Get the first one started. Like that. Grab my next one. Again, just a little bit on there. And this does have a little knob on there on the center hole that aligns the kickstand properly. So you just got to get that lined up right. And then using my 5/16 Allen key, and as I said, there's a little hole right here in the center of the kickstand that has a knob on the frame, so that way it lines everything up just the way it's supposed to be. So now with the kickstand in place and tightened down, we're going to put the foot peg on. You want to orient your spring so that you got the square piece coming over top of the foot peg and then onto the sort of lever point. And then this is going to wrap around the bracket for the foot peg. And that's going to keep the tension on the peg so it's down. And then this flange, this lip right here, is going to keep it so that it doesn't go too far. Just kind of drop that in there like that, take the post and get it back in place just like that, and then we can put our cotter pin back in. Normally I'd replace this cotter pin, but I don't have any right now, so if this thing breaks I'm going to have to replace it later. Okay, now that the kickstand is installed, let's take a little bit closer look at this up. So it's a spring-loaded, internal spring-loaded mechanism here instead of an external spring on it like the Trail Tex and the stock kickstand. Good and bad. It's protected from the elements, so it won't, shouldn't gunk up on you. But if that spring ever snaps or breaks or whatever, then you can't just replace the spring. You gotta figure out how to get warranty service on that. And the other thing you see is that it's got a bend in it, so it comes up here and tucks behind the license plate. So it's a little bit out of the way, which is really nice. I think it's also a little bit longer than the stock. And then it's got a really strong spring. You can see it just slams down into place really nicely. So it's got a nice strong spring, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's take it off the stand now and let's see how the lean of the bike is with the kickstand in place. So there's the lean from looking at it straight on. Let me reposition the bike and show you from behind, so that way you can see how far of a lean it is from behind as well. And so there you can see the lean of the bike from behind. It's actually got it's a really nice angle on it, I think, on the lean. So overall, now this is obviously on flat, hardened cement. So when you put it in softer dirt, who knows what's going to happen, but it does have a really big foot on it, so it shouldn't sink too much. Let's see what it's like when you're sitting on the bike, kicking it up and down. Yeah, it's actually pretty easy to get up and down. Okay, so there you have it. Installation process is super easy. It was very, very simple. Pull the foot peg off, pull the bracket off, bolt the kickstand on, put the peg back, and you're good to go. It was really simple. I think the only thing you have to be aware of is that the stock bolts holding the foot peg bracket on were put in with blue Loctite or blue thread lockers, so you might need heat along with some leverage to get that thing out. So having a breaker bar or a cheater bar of some sort to break those things free would do yourself a lot of good and make the process go a little bit easier. So if you're an old trail guy like myself, do yourself a favor, dump the bike stand, get yourself a kickstand for your bike. It's going to make your life easier out on the trail, as well as just moving your bike around in your garage. As for the kickstand itself, I'm very happy with it. I would definitely give it a thumbs up because it's very robust, nice strong spring in there, tucks up behind the plate. The nice big foot pad on this thing should help it from sinking into the sand or soft dirt. So I expect that we're going to get a lot of use out of this thing in the future rides. Speaking of the future, do stick around because I got a lot more plans for the bike to make this thing more trail friendly. We'll be putting on a bigger gas tank. We're going to be putting on an 18-inch rear wheel. We're going to be doing some more fine-tuning of that. We're going to be messing with the shocks and everything because I know the suspension on this thing is really stiff. The front end seems to be planted okay, but this back end just bounces all over the place. So I know I'm going to have to do some fine tuning and stuff there as well. So do stick around for those. Speaking of riding videos, I got a lot more riding videos coming up. I got to buy some GoPro camera mounts and stuff for the bike so I can get some GoPro footage. I'll be bringing the drone out as well to capture some of the aerial footage of the ride, so do stick around for those. If you're tuned in for some of the camping videos, we got more stuff going on with the teardrop. I got a camping trip next weekend actually. So we're gonna be doing some camping and shooting some campground reviews. I got more car repair videos coming up in the very near future, so a lot more stuff coming to the channel. So do stick around for those. So if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing. And I appreciate all your guys' interaction with the content. So thanks for all of that, and thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.